Alright, sorry guys, I'm not sure I left off. My camera card filled up on me. So I don't know, back to when I seen like all my friends and my family there. They were like super excited to, I get to see them like giving me so much love, so happy. There's a point all the animals returned to me and they're all like laying on me, showing me like protection, connecting me with nature. And the whole time this stuff was going on, there was points that the helpers came around and they would spread more oil on you, or they'd blow some smoke on you, or they'd give you with a condor feather, like whip some energy around you. But they always came exactly at the right time, like intuitively, like you're feeling a little bit down, this and that. Next thing you know, poof, someone's there, like cleansing your energy and clearing you out. So I was a little disappointed I didn't get the crazy visions and visuals I want. But I had such a more of a renowned love for my family and friends. It was insane. So I remember like after the ceremony, me and Ricky are sitting in our rooms, and both of us are just like super homesick, missing our friends, our family, our mothers. Like I just wanted to leave and go home and see my family and see my friends, tell them how much I love them. You know what I mean? And I'm in Peru, living the dream in a sense, being somewhere I've wanted to be my whole life, and all I wanted to do was be back home next to my family and tell them how much I love them. So did a lot of physical healing too, which was kind of like really blew me away. I have old skateboard injuries, and it was like I was just like twisting my shoulder back to where it needs to be. Like basically just felt like a new physical man when I came out of that. So yeah, I don't know, I guess I'm gonna try and wrap these up a little tighter and quicker now. So just right into the next ceremony. This ceremony was the tough one. So I guess like I was back to the God talk and stuff again. I kind of asked Ayahuasca like, what would it be like to be God, or like, you know what I mean? Like I want to know more about what would it be like to experience God. So it's about like an hour in maybe. So the visuals started hitting way harder this time, and I'm like, holy, this is really hard, really tough for me. The visuals are just kind of like smashing me. You know what I mean? So much is going on so quick. So what it showed me was, it was like what it would be like to be God, and it felt horrible. It felt like pure agony was the best word to explain it. So the reason why I felt like it was so hard and agony for me is because as God, it's like you're everything. You know what I mean? As God. So say if I was God, I'm you, I'm your friend, I'm the tree, I'm the grass, I'm any living thing, I'm everything that ever exists. So I've had a huge feeling of aloneness. I felt like I was the only thing, like the last of my kind. I felt like there was no one else like me that I could relate to, that I created all my family, I created all my friends, just to give me the feeling of not being alone. That, you know what I mean? So it felt like everybody I knew and loved was dying around me. It felt like the thing that hurt the most was, it felt like I made my mom to feel like, to give myself the feeling of what a family would be like. So the biggest thing that hurt the most is it felt like my mom was dying to me. It felt like I was literally alone. It hurt a lot, man. Like it hurt to the point where it felt like it was a worse existence than death, because even if I was God, and I say I was God and I was coming back as a human form, I was like, I created this whole universe and I'm gonna live in it, and this is gonna be my home. So yeah, so then I was picturing everything. Oh, it's super windy here, guys. Yeah, okay, so I was picturing like every living thing in the world giving me a big hug, like everything all at once, and I still felt extremely alone, because it's like I just created all that just to give me a hug, so it's like I was hugging myself. Yeah, so then if I was to be God and come here and like reincarnate and say I was like, fuck this, I don't want to do this, and fuck this is horrible, and you kill yourself, then you're just going to go back to God in energy and spirit form. So you just kind of, the cycle just keep repeating. It's like, okay, well, when you gonna accept your fate that you are alone, that there's no one else in the world or the whole universe besides you, like you're it, that's it. You know what I mean? Like the loneliness of being God is kind of like what I was experiencing. Fuck the wind here. So I was experiencing that. I was experiencing like my friends, my family dying. It felt like agony. Like truly, I didn't want to be alive. I didn't want to exist. But I couldn't escape it. It was like, even if I killed myself, I still got to face the music and deal with it. So feeling that, I was like, man, I don't ever want to be God, because that's a horrible feeling. So then there was a point like I kind of decided to accept it. You know, I think I'm high on ayahuasca here. It's like an hour deep into this trip. I still have another 3 or 4 hours to go. And all I'm thinking is like, man, I want this over. This sucks, man. Like I feel like, I guess I could feel like I was dying. Either I was dying or everybody was dying. So it was really hard, and I had to just basically like for a few hours, I guess maybe another hour of the trip, I'm sitting there and being like, man, I just have to accept this. Like this is it. Like I'm alone. Like this. If I was to be God, I have to accept the fact that I'm alone and be okay with it. And then, so you know, I mean, it's hurting in my heart. It's really heavy, but you know, I asked for help with it. I asked for some healing, and it gets easier. It gets lighter on me. And then by the end of that trip, I was feeling good. I was feeling happy because I was like, well, at first I was like, man, even if I was to become God, I would not even want anyone to know it because it would be too many questions, too many this, too much that. And then if you were to be God, it's like you created everything and you are everything. You would know when everything's going to happen, like how everything's going to happen. And if you became God, you'd instantly be bored. You know, I mean, you go to the end of the street, take a left turn or a right turn, you know where you're going to be, you know who you're going to meet, you know what's going to happen. But so the more I'm thinking about this and the more I'm accepting it, at the end of it, it comes to a point where, where it's like, man, I'll never be sad again. I'll never be angry. I'll never have to worry. I'll have everything I want, when I want it, how I want it. So when I thought of it like that, I was like, okay, like, you know what I mean? Like that's the good side of it, and then there's the bad side of it. If we were to be gods, we'd be God. But it made me not want to chase down the rabbit hole so much. You know what I mean? I'm not in any kind of rush to say if I was God. I'm not in any rush to become God anytime soon, and I would just want to be Adam. I just want my normal existence. I just want to be me. And there's a point when I was feeling myself giving out love and energy. Back to like the more you give, the more you receive. And I was feeling myself almost like on fire with all this great, and it was just like, basically it was going from one end out to everybody and coming back to me even stronger. So it's like I was taking my own energy like a drug for a bit. And there was points like when I could see my visuals, and then I could see my body and my visuals. So I'm moving my hand like this, and the visuals in my mind are changing. And there was a point when I put my hand up in the air and I couldn't even feel the difference between, like, I couldn't feel where my body ended or started. So there was a point like when I was like becoming one with the universe. But what was really intense about when I was going through the whole God mind stuff was, it was like a full spectrum of feelings. You know what I mean? Like, the weird thing was, though, sex was on each end of the spectrum. So it's like, say you meet someone, say you meet a friend or a girl, and it's like, when you love that person as much as you can, you're gonna have sex with them, and then, you know what I mean, it's just gonna be like, you know, that's just kind of the normal thing, goodness. But then, so guys, I apologize, the wind here is just kind of picking up like a bastard and shooting this camera around. But yeah, so like if you were here as God, it's like you would have as much fun with every living thing as you could, and then you would have the worst amount of fun with everything as you could, because it's like a duality, you know what I mean? Like good and evil. So the good God would be as good as he possibly could to everybody, and he would love everybody, and the evil God would murder everybody and be mean to them. So I was experiencing a full spectrum of doing everything with everybody, as everything and as everything. It's like I was doing everything that I could at once, as good and bad. And then there was points when I was like seeing like dark entities, demons. But what came to me was, so say you post a bad status, a nasty status on Facebook about like, you know, like an indirect status about this girl that you think's an idiot and she hurts your feelings. So I looked at that as like putting a big juicy negative energy cake out there, and these bad entities and these demons are going to come and feed on it and then infect everybody who's a part of it. So it made me be like, I don't want to be posting any negativity, I don't want to spread any negativity in anybody's life. There's a point when I felt like you could use these demons and to do your bidding. So say someone like murdered a baby, it's like I'm going to send these demons after him to kill him. But then I realized that's bad karma, and that's what they want from you. So then it made me realize that you have to trust in the Creator, trust in the universe, that the world is how it's supposed to be, and it's like this for a reason. Another thing too, it was like certain images were like scarring my brain. Like, you know, I seen things that I didn't think would bother me now, like, you know, younger as a kid, like maybe a dead body or dead person, this and that. But when I was on the ayahuasca, those images kept bubbling up in my consciousness, and I couldn't stop them. It was basically staring at something that was disgusting, and you couldn't look away from it, you couldn't escape it, and it was just like, fuck, man, I wish I'd never seen these nasty things. Like, it literally, I didn't realize how it scarred my brain like that. So like, there was really a lot of like, there was really a lot of like dark stuff that I was going through this experience. It was really intense like that. So it was really intense, but it was like the full duality, you know what I mean? Like, I'm experiencing God as like a truly enlightened being, and I'm experiencing God as a devil. So it was really like morbid, to be honest. You know, because we hear about like serial killers murdering people and having sex with them, and like my thoughts were shooting through this, but with anything and everything, as everything and everything. You know what I mean? Like, that's what was so weird about it, and I found it strange that sex was on both ends of the spectrum. So I don't know, that was just a weird thing to me. I'm still trying to figure out the whole process of this trip, but this was the hardest one for me. It was definitely the most interesting, I guess you could say. But yeah, so at the end of that one, you know, and Ricky had a super hard one that time too. I didn't realize how deep I was gone, because I guess like Ricky was like puking all night and had a really, really rough time. But I didn't even know about it until the next morning after we woke up, and the other people were like, man, are you okay? So it just goes to show like how deep I was in my own zone, my own trip. I could hear someone puking. I could hear the sound of puke over there, like from someone else. So I could hear the puking happening over there. So thoughts were just really, really out of whack there.